Previously, the MEC, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, the former MEC, dispatched a delegation that did an evaluation and issued a recommendation that the school must move because the TVET college had numerous workshops. Due to the proximity of neighboring schools, it would be simpler for the school to move. When I took over the institution, I met with the school governing body and the school management and received their firm view that they could not move and that the TVET college should relocate. I view this as something that no one will be able to engage with in that fight because there is no need at the end of the day. Therefore, I took the initiative to search for neighboring schools because there were so many abandoned schools around KwaMashu. We searched, applied, and requested money from the Department of Basic Education. The Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Blade Nzimande, supported us and signed the letter of request to Basic Education, and the Minister, Naledi Pando, then agreed. Hence, the Department of Public Works provided us with the Putumani primary school to be Elangeni TVET college campus in KwaMashu. Can we then give ourselves a round of applause for that? So we've achieved that. Now there's a difficulty. The difficulty is that Putumani is a school, a primary school, and in terms of infrastructure and the way we look at it, it cannot be able to meet what we are looking for or our expectations. It's a very small school. By the way that we are looking at it, it needs to be demolished, and then we establish a state-of-the-art campus in the very same site. This campus will include all the workshops that are required for KwaMashu campus, and it must also be relevant to the new normal and fourth industrial revolution, 4IR. Therefore, we are here to announce that we do not have money, but we are willing to see how far we can get with the assistance of business people, community members, and international funders. Having this campus, however, will not only assist the DHET, but also KwaMashu community as employees who will work at the construction site and so on and so on. There may be even skills development there, but it will rely on how we collaborate with local councillors and community. And ladies and gentlemen, in this meeting, we do have a ward councillor from KwaMashu, Mr. Ndlovu. Can Mr. Ndlovu please usukume nje bakubone ukuthi lento siyenza nomphakathi asiyenze sodwa. There's Mr. Ndlovu. Simcelile uMr. Ndlovu ukuthi sibe naye ngoba siyayiqala lento asinalutho. Sifuna ukuyiqala nabo. Sifuna ukuyiqala nabo abantu bangakithi. By the way, I'm from KwaMashu, J section. So we want to work with them to develop our own and plow back with the knowledge that we have so that our communities will be developed. No, Mr. Mpondi lo adela naye futhi wakwaMashu. Kwaji. So nje sonke abaningi nje lala abaphethe college abakwaMashu. Nalo principal futhi engangimlandela owaseNandi into eyodwa Inc. So I am trying to raise an importance of saying we are here, we are coming from these townships, and we have been given the responsibility in our positions to influence the communities and also to come back to our communities to make sure that they grow. And also make sure that we develop the skills. and gentlemen, other than skilled individuals, no one else is capable of developing township economies except TVET colleges. Due to the fact that develop any skill in the community requires people of a high caliber and people who are trained, like TVET artisans and TVET lecturers. TVET colleges are accessible and receptive to the community where it needs short-term skills, which we are able to give as training providers. That is our objective. We are going to have Mr. Shabane, who is going to present exactly what is it that we are looking for there. Mr. Shabane will next convey our material and concept to you along with our intentions. The college is currently finalizing the acquisition of uMhlanga. We are also working with another second development, which is uMhlanga Skills Center, which we want to develop as Elangeni Skills and Artisan Development Center. And also, we do have uKhansela waseNtshanga, uKhansela Malombo Nxumalo. Can you please usukume Khansela so that bezokubona. You see, the TVET by its nature is to develop, is to create and be responsible for the skills in South Africa. If there are no skills, then there will be no economy. Ngisho singakhuluma sizesikhiqiza amagwebu. Kodwa uma ngabe sisacabanga ukuthi sizosebenza sodwa kule mphakathi esikuyona, iTVET siyibekele kude, we will never survive. It is for that reason we felt that it is important for our college to have uMhlanga Skills Center on our side and then be able to develop uMhlanga, because uMhlanga has so many industries that are there and there are so many developments that are taking place. But in those developments, people who come with a skill are coming from outside. We want the people of uMhlanga to own their place, to own those industries. Not ukuwa-own bengenalutho ezandleni. Sifuna ukubaphathisa ezandleni so that they will be able to drive this vision that we are having about them. Because residents of uMhlanga lack the necessary expertise, many industries wind up hiring individuals from outside the region. Elangeni TVET College's primary objective is to equip the residents of uMhlanga as well as those from other locations with skills. People from KwaMashu, Inanda, and Tuzuma can stay at uMhlanga in order to complete their skills programs and then head out, because that skills center has residences. It means if we are having a certain program, maybe of plumbing, that we really want to make sure that those community members want to be skilled in a certain time, and we don't want anyone to be absent from that program, we have to give them the accommodation, and then they do all the training, then they go out when they are skilled. As I started in my earlier call for participation, the purpose of this fundraising gala dinner is to raise enough money to accomplish the college's vision and achieve its mission in providing quality education. Thank you to all of the many individuals seated here today who are sharing their time, talents, and pledges to join us in this cause. As the college principal, allow me to say on behalf of the college how much we deeply appreciate your support of our cause and your role in our first fundraising campaign. We are appealing you to contribute to this noble cause. You can donate any amount and form of donation that you think is right for this cause. Know that this small action of yours is hugely beneficial. As I conclude, allow me to say, when people come together like this, it raises a wonderful energy of commitment and dedication. It brings out all that is best about the being human, which is to be a part of a caring community. Let us create an institution of choice to accomplish great things for Elangeni TVET College. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Principal, our visionary leader. The vision is clear, well articulated. We want to create the state-of-art institutions in Wamashu and in Changa, yet we are faced with the challenge of limited resources, financially or in a form of assets. Thank you, Principal. By the way, I'm an adopted child. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard the dreams from the principal. John Maxwell says, dreams do not work unless you do. On that note, without waste of time, I would like to call Mr. Shabani, who will then share with us in more details what is our dream and what do we think we should do in give him a round of applause.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Musa Shabale. I also hail from the Ink area. There is a wealth of talent in that area. And some of Wamashu, they are among us. Now we are old men and women. My task, as directed by the principal, is to share with you the dream that we are having as a college. This is one of many conversations that we're going to be having with key stakeholders in our value chain. Very important, principal has mentioned that we cannot do it alone. You are here as our strategic partners of choice. Government is here, communities are here. Private sector also is here. The good news is that we are not starting from scratch, from a zero, but already the college has reserved, has put 100 million rand towards the giving effect of the stream. 100 million rand is there. Over the last 4 years, my CEFO, Mr. Kolo, we have guarded IPES Elangeni with to make sure 24/7 the money that is there is not used just for buying operational things, chips and catering and those kind of things. We have said that we are not going to allow ourselves to use our reserves for OPEX. We are going to use our reserve for investment. And part of the investment that we are going to be talking about today is the money, the 100 million rand has been channeled towards that. All what we are asking you to give us or to invest is to put 150 million rand. Only 150 million rand. But we have already put our 100 million rand first. I think that is fair. Okay? That is fair. I will not repeat the reason why we as Elangeni we exist. We provide technical and vocational and occupational skills contributing to the socio-economic development and spatial transformation at a local, regional and provincial level. We are strategically positioned between these two arterial roads. This is N2 going towards Elangeni and the entry going towards Pietermaritzburg. We've got 3 of our campuses along this route, Ekati College, uMhlanga College, and the KD and Iguatabega, the Pinetown. The one that we're going to be talking about in Changa is going to be, yes, a skills center, but I also look at it as a campus, because it has a capacity for hosting 450 students, 450 students. So it is going to be the one of our state-of-the-art campuses, provided you guys see you come on board. You come on board. And I believe that all of you sitting here, 150 million rand is nothing. It's nothing. Because we have a dream. Some of you are saying it's impossible. Yes, it's impossible. Some of you are saying it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult. But at the end of the day, it is going to be done. That's very important. Going to be done. It is going to be done because in the area where I come from, some 20 years ago, we used to run an ink renewal program. That program, its focus was to make sure that the money that the Treasury has deployed to the city of TVET to renew townships, to reinvigorate townships, it's used, and there was a plan for that. Fast forward, now, there is Guamashu Town Center, there is Bridge City, there is River Horse Valley, and there is, if you're going towards Inanda, you can see what is happening in Mjebeni, you can see what is happening at Dube Village, Dube Mall. It was all facilitated through the renewal, the infrastructure development program that was put by government to make sure that we link the inner city, the CBD, to all the townships in the north. And as a result of that, you could see what is happening there. That corridor is abuzz with entrepreneurial activity. It's abuzz with entrepreneurial activity. So it's so important for us to understand this. Infrastructure precedes prosperity. All what the government has done is to put infrastructure. You can see what is happening there. Elangeni College, again, we are saying we are a skills anchor of choice. If you want to make sure that you leverage government infrastructure that is already there, you partner with Elangeni College. We're saying we're putting our 100 million rand already. Benkhuluma nomfowethu Terence ngithi mina 4IR we are not principal uthi asibone umakhuluma bengenzi. Elangeni college sithi sikhuluma sibe siyenza. Very important because asiwona ama theorists, and that is a cue that we have taken from Mr. Mpondi. Mr. Mpondi hates philosophies and theories. He is a man of action. My principal also is a woman of action. Woman of action. I've talked about the urban renewal program. Again, what you see there, road connectivity, fiber, Elangeni, they are putting a fiber all over the shore. There is fiber network that has been, water and sanitation is there. That has attracted a plethora of activities, SMME activities. If you go there, you see every second house you look at, you observe, there is some entrepreneurial activity that is happening. SMMEs, self-employment is there. Home-based and family-run businesses. You could see that abantu bakithi bayazenzela, bayenza manje, and they are not waiting for government to do it. Already government has done its part. I mean, we're no longer asking Pretoria to come and invest. We are saying, thanks for the infrastructure that you have laid there. We are now making sure that that infrastructure is leveraged. 7 Elangeni campuses, they spread throughout eThekwini and 1 in Ndwedwe. They have played a very important role to make sure that is happening. Umshana wami, he went to Elangeni and to Zoom. His name is Ustelo. Ustelo worked 5 days a week. He did carpentry there and cabinet making. He said, hey Malum, I only invoice 5 days a month, and I've made my money for the whole month. I will relax for the next 3 weeks, taking orders, and then I will also do my 5 days. He's milking it because the whole of the area is a construction site. Those RDB houses, they need cabinets, they need tiling, and they need everyone. Maufagama tiles, wafagama cabinets. It's a word of mouth. In actual fact, he runs away from business because aganai capacity. But he's saying, Malum, I don't have problem man. I have a problem capacity. With masing tati malzabantu, sometimes I don't deliver. You see. So again, here's a product yamapi yaselangeni. When's level 2? Level 2 skills. And again, he is looking after, he's got a family of 2. Gama skills are what Elangeni. I think one of the things I see Mrs. Shai is the V in the TVET. Vocational skills. Esikole bandla sasingamhlomhloli. He went as far as grade 10. Couldn't go beyond grade 10. Kodwa makufanele asebenzise izandla, vocational skills. Ukutshela kahle athi lama tiles mina malum ngawenza ama measurements. I don't have to carry a ruler. I can do it myself. So I think one of the challenges that we're facing, we think is eziningi we need to learn from a college. But some people, they learn by observation. And most of the thing now, so kukhona ubani Google, no YouTube. He is a YouTube entrepreneur. He would say, I take my styles, my new designs from YouTube. I go to YouTube and I Google there, I put a word cabinets for townships, and Google will just spit out so many patterns. You go to Pinterest, we'll go there and look at the new patterns, and you will introduce those kind of patterns. So I'm saying 4IR again, it's here to stay. In our case, again, civil and building is what we specialize in. We are an urban center of influence in both wet and dry trade. Bricklaying, plastering, electrical, plumbing, painting, and roofing. And then again, government came with integrated human settlements program. Housing, backyard dwellings, private student accommodation, RDP housing, your home improvement and interior design, your cabinet making and carpentry, some things that I've just spoken about now. They are the things that Elangeni is facilitating in our communities. Home offices. Now people are beginning to say, our houses are no longer social assets. They are both economic assets and social assets. A house you can live, you can learn, you can earn, you can pray, you can play. So that's how we leverage our homes today. And we have learned that from our friends. We used to go Grey Street, about Victoria Street those days. Our Indian friends will have on the ground floor. They will trade on the ground floor. And then at 5 o'clock, they'll just go upstairs and do what? They have their family time. So they would not go to business. The business is a home that they have. They learn from that home. They pray from that home. And everything they do centers around family. Again, informal settlements improvement plans. Again, government has put a lot of money in informal settlements. Again, it is our duty to make sure that those informal settlements, we play a big role in the urbanization, commercialization, and industrialization. Engineering-related activities, big on centers of specialization. We're talking about the decade of artisan. Welding, fitting, electrical, mechanical. I mean, some of our friends sitting here is saying these deliveries, scooter deliveries, they are all over the show, even in townships, those scooter deliveries, Uber deliveries. He's saying it's coming with that program where we are going to be teaching our artisans, one, how to fix those scooters. Secondly, how to own them, because it's very important that now they can deliver into townships, those, they must be owned townships. Angathi umuntu uzodeliver abanjwe inkunzi because abamazi. But if it's owned by umngani wami lapha uKui and his friends, and we know ukuthi if business yakhe is secured because it's local. And as Elangeni College, we also want to be big on localization of economic opportunities. Panel beating and spray painting, refrigeration, electronics, again, we want to make sure with lezo zinto as part of our centers of specialization, and in the context of the decade of the artisan, those things must happen. Informal information technology, fourth industrial revolution, computer and laptop supplies, cell phone sales, repairs and accessories. Again, among us, there are stakeholders, business people who are saying, we can teach abantu baselokishini how to fix in cell phones. And that person is not a Pakistani. is an African guy who's saying, I know how to fix them. I'm prepared to partner with the college in order to make sure that that happens. Online learning, YouTube mechanics, again, very big where people are using YouTube in order to learn new skills. Blended learning and micro learning. Again, COVID, we never wasted a good crisis. It was a good crisis for the college. Thanks to the council, they put on the table 15 million rand to say, guys, let's de-risk our business as a college. Let's put infrastructure to make sure that there are e-books and also e-learning is going to be taking place. Furthermore, we said all our lecturers, 400 laptops were bought. We said, again, let's go to UNISA. 2.8 million rand was spent in order to make sure that our lecturers, they are quite comfortable when it comes to online learning. So we are raring to go, and you will see in our next slide what we have done. In total, we ended up in the last 4 years spending 78.5 million rand to make sure that we are 4IR ready. We are already doing it. We are not thinking about it. We are not procrastinating about it. We are in the mix because sitiskhuluma silesenza. Retail and commercial again. The reinvigoration of township and rural economy. We are deep into it. Township malls, bazaar shop, your fuel stations and convenience shopping. Township-based upmarket restaurant. We have our own mix kind of restaurants are called. They are popping up everywhere, leveraging infrastructure. Car washes, catering business, coffee shops and scooter deliveries. You can see they are starting to mushroom. And as at Elangeni College, we are saying our research department has captured that. We want to make sure, Uguti, whatever we offer, it's there to make sure that it augments the skills of our people. We want to harp on this, home-based and family-run businesses. There is no way, I know government sometimes has promoted youth empowerment. A big tick. Women empowerment, big tick. But what the missing dimension is the home and family. Very important because sikhule kwamasho business beyiranwa ngama-families. Kwashaya izandla, that was a Dlamini family. Komaphumulo kaG, those were families. Gongcobo, Kwa-El, those retail businesses were run at family level and they were prospering. We are saying as Elangeni, it's back to basics. Let's make sure that empowerment is not only for women, for youth, and for people who are disabled or military veterans. Let's go back and make sure that the family is involved. Home as a business, and then our value chain thinking from cradle to grave. What are the opportunities that are out there that we need to leverage? Primary, secondary, and tertiary business. You'll see in terms of agriculture, it's not about farm management. It is about value chain management, making sure what we package, we brand, and all those kind of things. Gain, life, living, dying, the whole funeral business. Again, we're saying that's big in the township. But how do we make sure we formalize them? The skills, we have identified the number of skills that they need. We are saying we need to leverage with those skills. Church as a business. Again, a lot of churches, they're there, but a lot of them, they are run informally. How do we make sure that as Elangeni, if they're collecting money, their accounting issues, accounting is taken care of. The ethics, very important. Faith healing as a business, very important. Creation of entrepreneurial hubs for TVET preneurs, very important. Entrepreneurs, we must talk entrepreneurship. Sports, arts, and culture. Visual arts, kwamashu, imapha amalokhuzana adlala kamashu. Uzalo dlalelwa. Dlalelwa kamashu. Head office yakhona imapha ikwamashu, yabo. So film industry is booming. Sikhulume ngoba nabo siphelele ngala. Ophilile ngala. Again, musicians lawa sikhuluma ngawo sithi si college we are into music big time asikhulumi ngendaba yokuthi akufanele sithole accreditation eqala before siyenze. No, you do it first to gain confidence and say, Mr. Spear, go and sort out our accreditation issues. That is what entrepreneurship is all about. We don't start about institutionalization. Let's get a paper, Gala. Some siyothola CK, demonstrate to us that you can do it. The CK can follow later. That is what entrepreneurship is all about. Again, music, youth, dance, poetry. We can't say abantu abadlala amapiano bawo oskhotheni. No, ababona oskhotheni. Those are business people. We're saying so much, we're embracing hip-hop, maskandi, indlamu, big. Those are not entertainment things. They are big business. We need to make sure people who are venturing into it, bayakwazi ukuthi basizakale ngani ngama skills. Sports, we have five teams. KwaZulu Natal. Those are big franchises. AmaZulu, Richards Bay, Arrows, Morrisburg, Royal AM. Ebholeni, you pick them up at 22, at the age of 32, sewenze njani? Usuphuphile noma usuphukile, yabo. From 32 years right up until you, who can say go back to the Arrows 2010, now winner in MTN. Of those players who win MTN, how many of them they still prospering? How many of them had skills? So we are saying those five big enterprise franchises, the sport, we want to partner with them to say, guys, we need to make sure your players, while they can, yes, it's fine to play football. Let's think about life beyond football. Digital design, coding, even early childhood development, they are introducing a coding. We're saying as Elangeni, the rise, we want to catch this wave of a rise of in a creative economy. TVET towns development. Guys, again, go to ETVET, you take away DUT, you take away UKZN. The whole economy will just collapse. Because if you go back in the 1900s, early 20th century, it was those two educational institutions who act as a springboard to develop a maritime industry, to develop a real estate industry, to develop all the industry. If you look at Anglo-American, kukhona Coral Brick, Tonga Hewlett, kukhona or David Whitehead, it was all centered around partnering of the city, the university, and community to develop the whole of Durban of that time. We are saying, fast forward 100 years later, the townships are in exactly the same position. We need to anchor, to position our college campuses as an anchor tenant to spatial transformation. Agribusiness, again, eKwaZulu Natal yaziwa ngeyinkomo neyimbuzi neyinkukhu. Siyayenza imisebenzi kwaZulu Natal. Yenza imisebenzi, fruit and vegetables, herbs and healing. Again, a lot is happening around the exports of herbal products. There are products that the Europe, in Germany, they need. They can only grow KwaZulu Natal. We are saying in our, not agriculture, agribusiness, because we have adopted a value chain mentality where we're looking at value-added activities, where we look at processing, packaging, and branding. And you'll see a lot of that, it will be happening in Janga. Other strategic sectors, fashion, transport and logistics, maritime industry and aerotropolis development at TVET Trade Port. Again, forms of logistics. We want to make sure that in the road, rail, sea, air travel logistics, we're there, and our programs must speak to those four areas or 4 types of logistics. We have, as a college again, we have adopted, we have moved from being FET under Department of Basic Education to DHEAD, the program qualification mix. We are making it sure that in terms of occupations in high demand, we are linking the supply and demand of skills by making sure that our mix of skills, they talk to what the industry need. Again, furthermore, our strategic plan is looking at, for 2022 to 2025, it's looking at radical and rapid spatial transformation of local communities. Pinetown, for instance, we got visitors from DHEAD to come, there's a visitor, one of our 20 million rand refurbishment project. One of the questions that they have asked Ubaba Xolo ukuthi, yeah, siyakubona ukuthi impela you have spent le mali yakho quite diligently and efficiently. The question was, to what extent is this contributing to the spatial transformation of the Outer West area? So even DHEAD these days, they are not inward looking. They are outward looking, and they're also forward looking to say we need value for money investment that is going to make sure that unemployment, poverty alleviation, and equality is being addressed. Current status, on-demand TVET syllabus. That is our main focus. New QCTO platform where we're talking relevant skills that are needed in the 21st century. Centers of specialization, occupations in high demand. Our strategic objectives, they are geared towards making sure that happens. I have covered that. Can we move to this screen where we are looking at college response in meeting demand? Again, we have spent 78.5 million rand, just making sure that we are investing. That is already, having spent that, we still have 100 million rand in our reserves to take into account when we are doing these 2 projects. We've spent 40 million rand in 2 campus refurbishment into Zuma and Pinetown, establishment of a business unit where we are talking about third stream income, that's 3.5 million. In Changa Skills Center, already we have committed 11.5 million to buy that skills center. Blended learning and learning management systems. Already we've committed 8 million rand to make sure that blended learning happens. workshop improvement plan to make sure that we have state-of-the-art workshops. 10 million rand has been allocated for that. Training and development of lecturers on online learning, 2 million. And then investment in 390 laptops for lecturers for online learning, 2.8. Increase in bandwidth, 650,000 to make sure that after you have done everything, so now my laptops and everything, bandwidth, you must not have a constraint bandwidth. Again, partnership for mutual success. The analysis one is BEE, triple BEE. If you look at what the government has done, he has created transformation sector codes. We have identified our 4 agri-BEE sector code, the construction sector code, the property sector code, the financial sector code. Those 4 codes, they talk about skills development, enterprise development, SED, and economic development, solely to make sure that there is spatial transformation, development in underdeveloped areas like townships, new towns, in rural areas. We are saying businesses among us, use your CSI, your triple BEE spend to partner with the college to give effect to spatial and economic transformation of our areas. Government has come to the part with infrastructure. Let's make sure that as we build our economy, we partner in terms of making sure that that happens. College of choice, institution of choice to all key stakeholders. We have a value chain approach to how we do our investment. Students, employers, entrepreneurs across the skills and occupational value chain, we are saying, come and partner with us at a strategic level. We don't have all the answers. We're saying, all of us here, you have an idea or ideas on how we can make it. We want to elevate our centers of specialization to make sure that we have fully fledged, trade-tested artisans and technicians. And that demands partnership with both public and private sector. And our main focus are with agribusiness, residential properties, our e-commercial and the industrial sectors in particular. Those are the main key economic drivers in our region. In Changa Skills Center, as I've said, this is how it looks now. 450 student capacity skills center, largely geared towards construction, civil engineering. We are going to be adding ICT, hospitality service, agribusiness is already there, but what we're going to be adding is ICT and hospitality services. Experiential learning for students, very important. For phase 1 call, we say we've already committed ourselves in terms of acquisition of the skills center, and we want to do a capacity enhancement. 11.5%, 11.5 million has been allocated, and then we're busy with QCT or accreditation. We're saying we want to invest in phase 1 between 11 million and 25 million on new machines to make sure that we increase the workshop capacity or the operational capacity of that. And then phase 2, we want to refurbish the campus and add 2 blocks, blocks A and block B, to increase private sector occupation and skills demand that are going to, because it's in the N3 corridor. We have already seen what Sandral is doing there with a company called Robex in terms of widening N3, and we can see the Keystone investment. There is also another Shongweni Mall that is happening, and there's also 2,000 hectares that our friend Utonga TVET is going to be releasing for residential developments. So they big on residential development. Already they are releasing 2,000 hectares. So huge opportunities out there. And the uMhlanga is going to be abuzz with this kind of activities. Currently, we have bricklaying and welding capacity that is there. My friend Ukomo Sbeya is raring to go. He wants to get in there as early as December to make sure ukuthi iyasebenza uMhlanga inje. We're not going to wait until we put our investment date, because it's operational. We can do that. It caters for those skills. It also caters for plumbing and furniture making. Plumbing and furniture making is already the capacity for that is there. And then agribusiness and electrical. Again, there's 9.3 hectares. 9.3 hectares that is ready for agriculture. And the vegetables there, it's Leandau, Outer West, is raining 12 months. 12 months is raining. So anything you put on the ground, it will just grow. Ours is to make sure that we anchor that uMhlanga agri-hub within our businesses out there and communities out there. And I'm happy Ubaba Nxumalo is here again to make sure the partnership with communities in the uMhlanga area does happen. Singatshali izitshalo uthole ukuthi seziyaduka because the community doesn't have a buy-in. If we have a community behind us, that will also be a good plus. New programs that the college has earmarked for uMhlanga Skills Center. Here I talked about sea, rail, road, and air. Aircraft mechanical aviation. We want to do aviation there. Already we have a budget for that. Yacht building and yacht and boat building in maritime again. Ubaba Khomo has secured funds for making sure that happens. That happens as part of his NSF and some other SETA programs. That is going to be happening there. And the entrepreneurship hub. Myself, no principal, we had the opportunity of going to Cape Town, where we were introduced to our entrepreneurial hubs. Entrepreneurial hubs where government puts 4 million rand in terms of infrastructure for the hub, and all what we need to do is just to make sure that we bring TVET-preneurs azokwazi ukuthi asebenzise leyo. And already we have identified hospitality is going to be part and parcel of what is going to be happening there in terms of entrepreneurial hub. And ICT also is very important ukuthi abantwana bethu bazi ukuthi nge-ICT kwenzekani. And we want to turn those students into TVET-preneurs. This is how it looks like currently. Looks like this. Or before, or after is going to look like that. That's where the rubber hits the road. It's going to look like that. It is going to happen. Money is not a problem. It's how big is your dream? How big is your dream? Very important. Sikhathele ngama-excuses athi, but abantu abamnyama banayo imali. Which is the most profitable spa in the whole of KZN? Spa kwamashu. Kodwa nithi abantu abamnyama baphuwa. But uSpa was able to put a business proposition, a business plan together, which says, I'm going to be investing kwamashu. It turned out to go to bonke labo mama bebenza amagwinya and having their home-based businesses. They were sucked up into uSpa, and all of a sudden, baqashwa kwaSpa, basebona ama-entrepreneurs, they are now workers, and the Spa is making a lot of money. So that's the issue I call ukuthi sometimes we undermine ourselves. Say 150 million, sizothatha. No. Ideas bring money. Great ideas bring money. As I have said, it all seems impossible until it's done, and we are going to do it. There you can see the entrance and two blocks, Block A and Block B. And then right at the end, you can see those warehouses. These are the state-of-the-art drawings, 3D drawings, thanks to Mr. Dlamini, who was able to put that within 7 days to make sure that this happened. Just give him a big round of applause. But this is good work, and when you look at it, you straight away, you look at Elangeni, not as an institution, yase KZN, noma yase Tegweni. We're saying we want to go global. We want to go global. If we have the state-of-the-art technology, the 4IR is going to allow us to increase our student numbers from 9,500. Imagine if we can double that to 20,000 or triple that to 30,000. It can happen. It all requires us to go to say partnership, the city, private sector, we collaborate, we say, how can we make it happen? Because there are so many silos as now. We need to de-silonize the way we think and put our resources together and see how far we can go. Those, as you can see, Block A, no Block B, double story, and then we want just to use the vertical leverage, because we don't want an urban sprawl. We want to go up, because who said amability asemalokishini, there must be first floor and second floor only. Yes, the second floor. We are sitting here on the 11th floor, Yaleli Hotel. So a township, again, we want to see skyscrapers. Very important, because we can do it. We can do it as Elangeni. Again, that's the uMhlanga proposed campus front view. It's going to look like that. And then that is a courtyard between Block A and Block B. That's the exam center that you see there. And then that's again the entrance exit and the pedestrian exit. You could see the frontage, very important. As you come in, we are coming into the institution of choice, an institution of higher learning. Bangene with confidence. Ingabukeke ama-college amaningi ama-TVET colleges. Asabukeka njengama high school. We're saying as Elangeni, we cannot afford that. We have to refurbish them so that they look like DHET institutions of higher learning. Kwamashu new campus, corner, new complex will host 900 students. Corner service center, refrigeration, motor mechanic, spray painting, again, information, communication and technology, and hospitality services. Based on the preliminary estimates done by our QS, we're saying we will need 150 million to complete that campus. 150 million. This is what it looks like, Babombondi, njengamanje. It's a piece of a football ground that is within those red lines, and then on your left-hand side is isikole esidala sekuhlala abantu abathi basigadile, awekho amanzi, awukho ugesi. Yeah, the issue corner, when we were there visiting the area, we say there is no way that we can keep those buildings. We will need to just flatten those buildings and make sure we saka a new building. This is how it's going to look like. With a frontage along uBejane Road, Lavabazumash, that is uBejane Road. On your left-hand side, you have classrooms that will accommodate 900 students. And then in between there, you have exam center. And part of that will be used for our workshops, There you could see that we have gone 3 stories because it's in an urban setting. And umbala wakhona, we have taken umbala ocishe brownish so that we cannot look far out from how our forum houses are, you see. But now we have gone 1 or 3 stories up to make sure we leverage the space there. And abaziyo, this is between Bridge City and Guamashu Station. And there, between those 2 roads, is 2.5 kilometers in between. So you could see uBejane Road is going to become an economic corridor if we put that state-of-the-art building. Kwajila kuhlala khona uBabumpondi. Those houses will be sold like hotcakes. Abantu benze njani? Befuna ukukopela ukuthi Elangeni njani. Because abantu bayikopela into enjani enhle. They're going to be going up 2-3 stories just to bring themselves in line with Elangeni. And again, student accommodation opportunities, and I don't want to, your imagination is as good as mine. Very important that, again, you just think 150 million rand that we're going to be putting there. The multiplier effect, if we're going to be using abantu baselokishini, we are not going to be importing skills from outside. We're saying those skills Elangeni has got what it takes to produce those skills. That's the admin office, proposed admin office. And then that's the lecture rooms. That's the street view of your lecture rooms. Mawahamba ngoBejane Road, this is what you will see of all my lecture rooms. As I've said, they will be hosting about 900 students. And then this is the helicopter view. Drone. This is a drone view. This is how this college will look like, this campus will look like, Guamashu. And a lot of work has been put into these hours. It's just to make sure, from a fundraising perspective, we structure it in such a way that it's going to become easier for some of us to invest in it. Okay, our partnership model, yeah, again, we talking public partnership and private partnership. What is missing there is the community. It's community-driven public-private partnership. At the center of what we are doing, our communities must benefit. Our communities must defend our institutions that they build. Ours is to facilitate. Abantwana benu abazobe befunda lapha, abantwana bethu. And it's very important ukuthi sense isiqiniseko sokuthi these institutions are protected. Currently, we have our SITA brothers and sisters co-government abakhona la. Wonke ama-SITA, they have promised us ukuthi, hey, look, imali eningi size siyibuyisele government because colleges and communities are not giving us groundbreaking business plan. We are saying as Elangeni, we are going to be giving you, our partners, groundbreaking business plan that are going to make sure, Uguti, when you report on our KPIs that are delivered. We are saying as a college, partner with us. Let's go there and make sure, Uguti, this is happening. Already, some of the sitters are cornered. They have committed themselves in one of our blended learning initiative, but we are saying those millions that are sitting there, they are now banomsebenzi wawo ozowenza Elangeni. And we want to be a trendsetter, and other colleges must follow us. Government partners, ithe bazalwana selwenzile umsebenzi walo. Infrastructure efakwe umasipala waseThekwini over the last 15 years. It's breathtaking. Ours is to leverage that infrastructure. Dube Trade Port, they've put excellent infrastructure there for logistics hub. Again, there are sugarcane fields that are there. But those sugarcane fields, as you know, it's a hazard. You can't have a sugarcane field next to the airport. Those sugarcane fields needs to be converted to residential, commercial, and industrial. And again, business people who are sitting there, again, those are opportunities where we are going to be going to these partners and say, we're coming with skills. Business people are here. Can we buy land and do what we are supposed to be doing? Sandral Sibonile, traffic, Mausa, Air Gateway, they're doing what they know best. UIF, they're sitting with some couple of billions of francs. We need to go there and make sure, again, UIF, put your money where the mouth is. ETIA, National Skills Funds, CEDA program, the 4 million rand that I was talking about, entrepreneurial hub, they're waiting for us to submit a business proposal. The money is waiting for us. Again, NSFAS, every year, in terms of students, man, they give us 70 million to make sure that our students are paid for. So the government is doing its part, its role. Ours as private sector is to sit down and have a conversation and see how much we can leverage government investment. As a college, in terms of our grant, okhokhela abasebenzi, sikhokhele goods and services, the government gives us close to 350 million rand every year, excluding the money that we can say infrastructure, which is again between 20 and 40 million rand. So, kind of like if it's singayibali amasita, between kumasitas we get between 20 and 50 million rand. So government is investing a lot in terms of making sure that they do their part. private sector need to come on board. And this initiative is giving us an opportunity to do that. Our private sector partners is now, some of us are here, got Student Hub, Sipola, Hugo Penal Shop, Ace Boating, the Trade Port, the Upper Highway, Toyota, the Chamber of Commerce, KZN Business Clinic. Again, all these institutions, they have said to us, we want to partner with you. We want to make sure that our placements are yenzeka, training yenzeka, ivela ama value chain to ayalopos they are alive. Those teams, I've spoken about them. That those football franchise partners, very important. Or at least chairperson wethu Mr. Mbondi, he supports ina lamazulu, and he's going to be leading the delegation Zungu to make sure he comes on board on this one. Again, those 5 franchises, they are going to reinvigorate the economy. Natal. Let's make sure they have the skills that they need to make sure which is occupational skills beyond football career for retiring or retired players. That's the value proposition that we're going to be putting on the table. International partners, British Council, NAFIC, Netherlands is with us, China is with us. Umfowethu uShezi nomfowethu uSibiya bebekade bese eKorea on a fact-finding mission. Again, we're trying to make sure that there are MOUs and MOAs at an international level. Other 3 important strategic partners is Solidarity Fund, siyayazi establishwe ngesikhathi se-COVID, and they have funds for serious projects. They are going to be approached, and bese kuzoba Motsepe Foundation. It's made a lot of money as a result of gold going, I think, doing very well in the JSE and in the international market. It's no surprise, it's pumping a lot of money with Sundowns. That's why they are domineering, because in terms of the money that they spend paying their players and paying their coaches, I think there is no way that you can compete financially with the money. And again, Motsepe Foundation is playing a key role in basic education. What we are saying, we want to be the first or the second college with a plan. We're not coming with a cap in hand. We are coming with 100 million rand in hand. Can you put rand for rand? Can you give us another 100 million rand and see what was our team? But I'm sure with the people about then there is National Lottery. And when it comes to capital investment requirements, in summary, 250 million, Guamashu sting 150 million, Changa 100 million, the college, as I've said, in our 100,000 my reserves. So we slide so this, Mr. Chair, Mr. Total fundraising requirement ilawaya. We are saying 50 million for Wamashu, 100 million for Inchanga. All what we need is an additional 150 million to complete our projects. All what we need is financial and non-financial contributions from our partners, public sector, NGO, and private sector, BE and CSI partnerships. And again, this is fundraising partnership ideas, crowdfunding partners, project management skills. Some of volunteers, if they are retired executives sitting here, we want them to come on board to make sure that the community, corporate, college, and city collaborations in these corridors is happening. In conclusion, Success is going from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Mandela Oti, it all seems impossible, difficult until it's done. There's nothing to fear except fear itself. Kunamakholwa la. Ask, you shall receive. Seek, you shall find. And knock the door, and it shall be open. Eternally, fear knocks at the door. Faith stands up to answer. And when faith opens that door, there is nothing. Because where there is faith, fear runs for cover. If it is to be, it is up to me. It is up to you. Ithini esizokwenza le nto. And blessed is the hand that giveth, than the hand that receiveth. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Shaka kancane kangaka manje. Thank you. I'm still a program director. Thank you very much, Mr. Shabane. Ngeke discipline for isikhathi osithathile. As long as lo 150 uzobuya nawo. Mawubuye no 150 nje million akho disciplinary process ezokwenzakala. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's clear we have a dream and we want to achieve the dream. We as a college, we committed the funds, but we still not have sufficient to realize our dream. We are requesting the private sector to come on board and work with us. Government alone is clear, will never able to satisfy the needs of all the South Africans. The purse for government ucacile ayanele. So siyadinga ukuthi nelulisandla. Kwi program akukho la kuthiwa kuzothathwa ibreak khona. Kodwa ke ngoba phela ngi program director ngiyabona ukuthi we need a break just to stretch our legs and come back. I will allow you 10 minutes break and then just stretch and come back. When we come back, we will have Mr. M. Sigudu, who then going to speak to the guests here, appeal to them to make pledge in terms of how then we can make this dream possible. Please, Mr. Sigudu, please be ready for the audience, and I have a great hope that we are going to get this 150 million that you are looking for. I'm not expecting disappointments. Ladies and gentlemen, let us just feel free for now for 10 minutes. Thank you. proceed with our program. Can we please sit down, ladies and gentlemen? Can we please take our seats, please? I can see it's nice to be here, and it seems as if my audience want to spend the whole night here. I can see now that you, one more time, to socialize. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. There is a proposal that we should start eating, but Shaviga and Bushe are going to conduct the arrangements for eating. We are going to do item for appeals and pledge while we are eating. But Ubuse and Shaviga will then inform the guests in terms of which table is going to go first, second, third, and so on and so forth. All right, Shaviga and Bushe, please take care of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also informed that there's a process for validating the parking tickets. I think it's happening at the back. Please make sure that you also undertake that process. Let us continue with our program, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to the item number 6 of our program, and I hope and believe that each and everyone who is here, after such good presentations from the chairperson of the council, from Mrs. Gula, the principal, Professor Putit, as well as Mr. Shabane, I think we can all agree now that there is a need for support of the TVET sector. However, I'm not going to dwell much on that. We have Mr. Sikudu, who's going to assist with that program. Mr. Sikudu, can you please join me on stage to facilitate that process? Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome him with a round of applause.
Program Director, the Principal of Elangeni TVET, the Council, or the Board of the College, Councillors, Sub-Co-Executive here, leaders, ladies and gentlemen, maybe it's better for me to say all protocols observed. Good evening. Mine is very short because I think it's going to be a matter of the heart. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Be vigilant of your heart, because from your heart springs life. And if you go to Corinthians, the 2 Corinthians, chapter 8, verse 9, or let me start verse 7, 2 Corinthians 9, it reads as follows: let each one give as he has made up his own mind and purposed in his heart, not reluctantly or sorrowfully or under compulsion, for God loves and he takes pleasure and prizes above other things and is unwilling to abandon or to do without a cheerful or a joyous giver, whose heart is in his giving. So it's about the heart, it's about the giving. God is able, and it's very important, God is able to make all grace, every favor and earthly blessing come to you in abundance, so that you may always and under all circumstances and whatever the need be, self-sufficient, possessing enough to require no aid or support, and furnished in abundance for every good work and charitable donation. And I want to tell a story of more than 100,000 penguins that were washed out of the sea. Some one good guy then decided, you know what? I'm gonna wash each one and send it back into the sea. So a passerby then says, why are you worrying yourself? Because there are so many, you are not making a difference. So this good man washes another one, and he says, this one, I have made a difference. And I think this is the story that we're going to talk about today. Looking at the presentation, looking at what are we doing to that graduate that doesn't have a job? What are we doing to that one South African that has no future? The dream has been cast to us. If you can dream it, you can do it. So that is the story of today's evening. My name is Moses Sikudu. I'm the managing director of Spola Consulting. I think you saw. Why are we here? I'll share a little story. We had a mandate of placing 50 mechanical students who had gone to China. We went after them, we profiled them. This is besides the point that we did not have the mandate from the SETA. We used our own because we thought this is the beginning of bigger things. As I speak to you today, all of them are employed. They now have a 4-year apprentice program, mostly with BMW, with Land Rover and Toyota. So much so that we have even exceeded our mandate. We have now placed 65 because the demand is there. But what that 65 means is that if you look at an African family, we have made an impact on 65 families. If you extrapolate that by 10 per family, we've made a difference to 650 families. And we did not stop there. We also have placed another 235 learners or graduates in the workplace in 6 provinces. That takes our total to 300. And you would then see that we are talking about 3,000 people impacted in the process. So coming into the space of graduate placement means that to us, we have seen how when you take a person, take them to a higher level, develop the person, they come back to the country to deliver something better than what we have done. Such that we were invited at the 2020 Durban Expo, and we now have partners in 12 countries internationally. But what does that mean? It means that now we have an opportunity to then place learners or graduates in all these countries. For instance, we have Canada. Canada has 300 opportunities. They say bring 300. We have Estonia. Estonia, full digital country. Small population, they have trained everybody, they've got the resources. They say, we need people to train. So when we talk about the opportunities, we're talking about opportunities for our young people to take them from here, place them there, and that requires, and I can count as many countries, Egypt, UK. In fact, when I speak about UK, we've been to the UK twice. There's already 5 projects that we started. And the UK already has committed itself to work with Elangeni College. I read their letter. Elangeni TVET Gala dinner, 14th November 2022. Thank you for inviting me to attend Elangeni TVET College's Gala dinner tonight, and I would like to express my sincerest apologies for not being able to attend. I would also like to thank my friends Muze and Nonku from Spola Consulting for their warmth and hospitality. I wanted to take a bit of time tonight to share some thoughts in writing for the audience tonight. Education must remain a critical priority for any country as it seems to improve prosperity and move its economy up the value chain beyond manual tasks. I would like to draw 2 points from the UNESCO report which underpins the importance of education as a driver for good. For every $1 spent on education, as much as $10 to $15 can be generated in economic growth. If 75% more 15-year-olds in 46 of the world's poorest countries were to reach the lowest OECD benchmark for mathematics, economic growth could improve by 2.1% from its baseline to 104 million people could be lifted out of the extreme poverty. The aim of education policy should be to provide the right education for every child. That for some children, that will be an education that is family-based in learning practical and vocational skills. For others, it will be an educational based on academic excellence. I see how vital good schools and colleges are to a community, how the hopes and aspirations which parents have their children and which young people have their futures are bound up with the quality of education on offer. And here, this is fantastic setting. We are gathering today in helping to define a fantastic future for this city, this country, as part of Elangeni College's effort to promote an immense value of great local institutions, providing people with an education that truly works for them. This is very clear. The success of every young person in whatever they do and go on to do in life is shaped by the education they receive at school and having rigor and high standards in primary, secondary education at the heart of the reforms. So the message is that at FNK, we look forward to working with South Africa to make this a country where everyone can go as far as their talents will take them, and no one is held back by their background or class. Where education is a key to opening up opportunity for everyone. That is why we are partnering with Spola Consulting to build an education system which unlocks everyone's talents and give them the skill they need. So these come from Nadim Ali, the director of NK Associates in London, UK. We are here to now say, ladies and gentlemen, here is the future. Here the future has been laid bare to us. It is our time now to say, how do we feel? How are we going to ensure that we raise 150 million plus? But I am just saying to you, in terms of the many avenues that Ubabu Shabanya was talking about, it means that we just have to stretch our minds a little bit and not look at our pockets, but look at what the future of the graduates that come from Elangeni. When I listen to the plans they have for the future, I get excited. Because when you look at it, Elangeni TVET is no longer a TVET. It's a universe. It's a universe of opportunities. We can see, ayikho into engazange yabalwa. That is an opportunity. Just last week, we were in the UK for the aircraft maintenance at the WorldSkills. And already there is a talk. We are trying to influence. You have to sell yourself. You have to wear the clothes Elangeni TVET wherever you are. That is buying into the vision, because there could be visionaries, the board, the principal, and everybody who works at Elangeni. They carry the vision. We have seen the vision. All that is left is to be the workers behind them and ensure that they have the necessary support. Sometimes we are scared to give just because we think we're going to be bankrupt by just spending just a little bit. I am sure that this 150 million is going to be a collective effort. Don't look at it from your point of view and say, where I'm going to get 150 million. The 150 million, if you look at it, if you influence your company and say, from the CSI, please plow. I come here because we have a space to play in the automotive sector. And in the automotive sector, other than the opportunities as apprentices, the automotive sector is compelled by law to abide by BEE principles. And part of what they are supposed to do is to spend money on skills training. Why wouldn't you then look at your company and say, where is your spend on skills development? Of course, it's not going to be your money, but it's going to be the money of the company. And they're going to come here and train, because here is quality education already. So you are hitting two birds with one stone. So we need to now start expanding how we think and how we can generate money for Elangeni TVET to achieve that. Even 1,000 rand, even 10,000 rand, there is no money small enough to build in the vision. If you build a house, you need one brick. Then you get the second one. Before you know, you have a wall. Before you know, you've got a house. We have an obligation to now wear what has been spoken about here and start internalizing that and taking that as part of your vision. Take the vision, live with the vision. That cannot be, if it's not part of your dream, what are you dreaming about? Generally, all the graduates that we are talking about are going to be of high quality. Now, the international introduction into what is happening here means that we all know that South Africa on its own doesn't have enough job opportunities. So what it needs now is to put more effort in selling this college to the international world and asking the international world to come on board. If you're plowing 1,000 rand and the international partner plows 1,000 pounds, the difference is vast. And this is what we should be looking at and partnering with the colleges. What we are looking at now is to say, all the graduates that have come out of this college, we're going to work to place them, because that will generate, one, a marketing tool for the college to say, come study here. We have opportunities for you. One of the other elements that the UK component of our company is coming with, it's undergraduate opportunities. To say you can study online and go and finalize your degree and get 2-year employment overseas. It's the same as in Canada. It's the same as in Estonia, where you will be able to do better, get opportunities. Because at the end of the day, the biggest challenge at the moment is that we have a lot of graduates that have never ever been placed. And the government is in the process of trying to find what's going to happen. In our approach, we have even an exit strategy where you come in, you are able to end up being in the co-ops. And these are the co-ops that need to come back and work with the corporate world. So the corporate world is very important. So, to move forward, I think every table has a pledge form. Can we all take our pledge forms? Can we take our pledge forms? We are not going to prescribe what you can donate to the school. Today we are here to plant the first seed. To plant the first seed at this Gala event. So the first step is for us to look at the form, pledge information. I will fulfill this pledge by making, so you can make a one-time, which is today, or payable as and when there is an opportunity for you to pay, but it's pledged. Or you're going to do staggered payments. For instance, you can say, I am pledging 20,000, which is going to be paid over 2 months, 3 months, which is amenable with you. Which will then go perhaps into a debit order. But as we fill these pledge forms today, we will collect them, because at the back, they go on to give authority to your bank to deduct whatever it is. If you're not donating money, you can also donate equipment, because you can see a construction company can pledge materials to the building, or whatever they deem fit that is going to be required here. Somebody can simply say, I want to sponsor 50% of the roofing or of the cement that will be required, and I will pay it over this period of time. It's still a pledge. It's still acceptable. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like now to look at the pledge form where you're now going to fill your details. And I request that we do, and I do understand we are also eating. But let us utilize this time to do so. When we finish eating, we will be able to come to each table and collect the pledges so that we can now start tallying them. My colleagues here will then tally, and then we will follow up. At the back of the pledge form, I think that will be page 2, the method of payment. So, on that section of the form, there are banking details of the TVET, and this will be then utilized to submit to the bank, as you also make an undersigned acknowledgement to say the bank can deduct whatever you are donating to the college to ensure that the money goes through and there are no other processes. It's very important. There is the bank, and at the bottom, you can then also come up with further suggestions in terms of how the college can raise funds, what other sort of activities other than the gala dinner. I know that tomorrow there is also a golf day, but there are other initiatives that can be taken by the college to raise the funds. Do we all have the pledge forms? Ngiyanicela bazalwane, sonke siphume kukhona esikubhalile. Ngicela nje sonke ngothi lwethu siyithathe le vision sigqoke. Silphakamise i-college lethu, because this will be the greatest college ever that looks at a holistic approach where even the grassroots level councillors are part of the vision. Secondly, we can see the commitment and the fact that they are putting forward something onto the funds. So it means that there is credibility that this is a serious initiative. They have saved funding for this to take place. So, as we enjoy our meal, can we put together on our minds, get our hearts into this project, and come up with a pledge? It's personal. It's not going to be publicized. All these will be acknowledged privately for whatever you have put in, because this is not a competition. You will pledge today. When things come right, a few months, weeks later, and you'll always remember that, please get something on board. Can I get an affirmation that we all shall pledge? Are we all going to pledge? Are we all going to pledge? So the number of tables, it means from each table we will get 10 pledges, whatever comes from your heart. It's not defined. Ningasabi bazalwane. faka nje lokho phose sivivaneni ukuze kuthi mase kuyakaziswa nelakhe igama liyakaziswe lapho ukuthi nami ngangifakile. When we see these buildings standing up, you will say there was a small contribution that I made. My name is in that building. It could buy a brick, it could buy a computer, it could do so much. Uma sihlanganyela, we will win together. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Soul can make another one. I had a dream, we were sipping whiskey neat, highest floor of the Bowery, and I was high enough. Somewhere along the lines, we stopped seeing eye to eye. You were staying out all night, and I had enough. No, I don't wanna know where you've been or where you're going, but I know I won't be
Ladies and gentlemen, without disturbing you, we will allow you to eat and finish. Then you complete your pledge forms, and then we continue with our program. The music team is going to play the music while we are still eating. Over to you, Saki.
these melodies in me, yeah, telling me this who I am. Digaba yintoni na ngaphandle kwakho mina. The way I'm gonna show you now. The way I'm gonna show you nangzochikizito ngalomculo mina. When you smile, when you dance, when you look into my eyes, nangzochikizito ngalomculo mina. Naba bengibuza ngabufuna ntoni na. Bathi ngenzani ngizihlekisa ngabantu. Oh nabo bendibuza ngabu okwenzani na. Dilapha ngenza indima yami, oh njengabana nesiphiwo. So I'm saying this is me, oh please just let it be. I'm giving you my love, I need your attention. I'm saying this is me, so please just let it be. I'm giving you my love, I need your attention. I'm saying this is me, so please, I'm giving you my love. The way I'm gonna show you nanzochikizito ngalomculo mina. When you smile, when you dance, when you look into my eyes, nanzochikizito ngalomculo mina. When you look so you can the chigizito ngalomculo mina. When you dance, when you smile, when you look, minangzo chigizito ngalomculo mina. Oh hey, oh mina vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, kita vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, kita vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, kita vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni, vamba moyeni. Thank you.
Councillor Devo. All right, thank you very much. Music team, siyabonga. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to say that sibusisiwe isandla esiphayo kunesamukelayo. Angizukubonga ke mina, but I have our own professor, Professor Ndlovu. No prof about two, my ngicacisa kahle. Nami sengivulile okunjala nje impekanyana ukuthi our own Professor Ndlovu will come and do the vote of thanks. After a professor, I think okwabi kuzobe sekuphelile. Uzobuya Mr. Sigudu a finalize indaba yama pledge. At this present moment, I would like to thank you for being a good audience, and I believe that nami nginiphathe kahle, onyathelekile bengingaqondile, angaze ngibe nenhloso yokunyathela umuntu. So ngiyabonga kakhulu, siphathane kahle till we meet again next time in another event. Thank you very much. Over to you, Prof.
Program Director, Mr. Xolo, ngazi noma mhlawumbe ngiyabheda yini makuthiwa umsuthu kantamonde. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. My task is very simple, is that to thank you all. I made it simple. My task is for me to thank you all. Oh, andifuna ukubongwa. Kodwa ke, let me start with Mr. Mpondi, who's the chairperson of council. We thank you for welcoming us and making us feel at home at this Gala event. I do also want to take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to all council members for the support they've provided to the college in ensuring that this day does take place. We're also pleased that the office of the DDG for TVET, Mr. Sam Zungu, though he could not make it himself, but he sent Mrs. Pelele Ntuli, Sisbongele Mpemba. Sicela ke nokuthi udlulise kumanzini ukubonga kwekolisi ukuthi ukwazi ukuphumelela ube khona. We are very honored that the subco president, Professor Putsisi, graced this gala dinner. More importantly, she emphasized the role of TVET colleges. I do like the way she demonstrated the kinds of things we tend to take for granted, and yet these are things that are done by our own TVET learners. Well, the reason we are here was articulated by Ms. T.J. Gula. She's the leader of the college, but also the college principal. I think our participant in this gala dinner, ma'am, have heard you, and I think today is the beginning of a journey that we all partner to support the college. Though the principal provided the purpose for this gala dinner, we do appreciate the extent of detail on what we hope to achieve. And for this, we do thank Mr. M. Shabane for all. We now know the resource requirements to make this happen. And I'm glad also that you spent a bit of time emphasizing the value of the skills and qualifications we deliver for our communities. Mr. Sikutu, we've heard you. We've also heard about the pledges that have already been made, a significant portion, of course, but also we do hope that today there is a lot to take home when we leave this room. I do want to take note to the ward councillors whom our colleges operate under their authority. We, and me in particular, I would like to say, we implore you to continue to support the efforts of our colleges. These learners are our children within our communities, and the colleges is there to ensure a bright future for them. The continued support is highly appreciated. We therefore extend our appreciation to Mr. Ndlovu Kacheni, where Benyathi inkomo zidle ekhaya ngokuswela belusi. Kacheni, ngizwile ukuthi ngala kwamashu baye bathi boya benye out. Kanti abanye ngizwile kuthiwa bathi boya bequantum ngoba inyathi shibhile. We also do thank the Councillor Nxumalo ozwide sothondoza sithi kuwe logatsheni qhubekani njalo nibambisane nekolishi ukuletha amathuba emfundo kuma ward enu. Sinethemba ke nozakwenu maduze nje nabo bazobona imphumela balandele endleleni zenu. Sithembe ukuthi beKwaZulu Natal yonkana izofunda isifundo lapha kunini. Co-principal from the TVET colleges, I do hope that we keep working together at all times. Our challenges in this sector require combined effort. Hence, you are members of SAPCO, and we have leverage. We have to leverage these structures for the support of all the colleges. The continued support we get from sitters has been the pillar of additional funding. We do know there are limits to the funding available, but today we are hoping that the needs of the college have triggered a need for a concerted effort in developing a new framework for supporting colleges beyond bursaries. We thank the sitters for the support today. We look forward for the future support. This day will not have taken place without the task team with the responsibility to facilitate the planning of this event. For that, I do want to thank Mrs. Monica Malunga, who's not here, who was the chairperson, Mr. Ntantla Ngubane, Mrs. Skula, Mr. Kolo, and Mr. Shabane, Mr. Sbia, and of course, support from Mr. Lucky Ngubane. And of course, not forgetting Professor Ndlovu. Staff of the college for making this day a reality and also for participating. I'm sure and we are confident that this has given us a major boost on our fundraising efforts right into the future. Let me not forget all those who have not mentioned, and we are grateful for the time they have taken to be with us today, and more importantly for sponsoring the tables. I'm also confident that in the future we'll have a bigger room than we have today. I would probably like you to give yourselves a big applause. I'm saying we must thank the band, but I'm told that it's not a band. These are people, staff members who work for the college, and they've put together themselves into a band to make this day what it is today. And I think we should give them a round of applause. Not forgetting, of course, Uspelele, who's our own Pavarotti. And he happened to be a former student of Elangeni College. So you can see that we don't only produce bricklayers or mechanics, but also Pavarottis. Last but not least, we must also thank the hotel for the venue and ensuring that it's well decorated for our use. More importantly, the chef and his staff for the good food we've had tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe I've talked too much. I thought I was going to say kapu kapu ngokubaluleka kwemfundo yasema TVET colleges, because that's a point that we always need to take into account. But of course, time is past us. We will do this next time we meet. Right now, I think I'm standing between you and your sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, have a very good night. Thank you.
uzofuna imali lo muntu nizwile i-mandate 150 million asiphuthazeni usisibuhle, there she is, she's collecting the pledges. Can we just move those pledges to one side for her to collect? Angicela ukubonga uthi nilalele kodwa nangu baba ugatsheni ake ngehlele ngezansi.
I was just reminded that you earlier said that the golf day tomorrow. The plan was to have the gala dinner and then tomorrow have the golf day.
Okay.
But the golf day has been postponed to next year, I think February 24th. So those of you who are golfers or who wanted to be golfers, so we have time now to start practicing for the 24th. Thank you.
Maybe we can start now and set ourselves in fours, because we know the plan. It's also part of the fundraising. I'm just here to emphasize that singadli kakhulu ujeli no custard ngokhismusi igalofu liyeza. So siyabonga kakhulu. May God bless you. May God increase those pledges. And may God anibuyisele la nithathe khona ukuze niphinde nifake futhi. Thank you so much.